much longer.
Yes, sir.
Where I am at least.
On this ride, I left Northampton, rode into the woodlands, picked up the group at Alden Village Center. We headed out on Honea, Egypt Road, out to 2854, went east, got on McCaleb Road to 105, rode all the way to 336 in Conroe, then took Longmire Road out to Little Egypt into Willis, Texas. We went through Willis and got into Shepherd Hill, came all the way down. We stopped at a boathouse, then headed back towards 45. At that stretch, I let the group go. I was overheating, so I kind of backed off the pace and rode that stretch solo back into Montgomery. At Taco Corner, I felt much better, picked up the group, resumed filming on 2854, Mill Route, Leah Drive, Fishcreek, back into town. I think you would love the clips that we got for you. This was our first really hot day of the summer, and it takes me a while to acclimate. I went and reviewed my notes, and that seems to be a pattern. I think you will love the clips we got for you. We're on Research Forest Boulevard in the Woodlands, Texas. 23 degrees Celsius, about 76 degrees Fahrenheit. It's nice at this point in the ride, but it's one of those days where it heats up quickly. And I had challenges dealing with the heat. Even though I ride this time of day mostly, this was the hottest day we've had so far, I believe. So it takes a bit of time for me to acclimate.
I just like to get the early shots.
We're on Fishcreek Boulevard here. We're going to be turning left on Honea, Egypt Community Road. And we plan to take it out into Honea and then go east to the right towards Conroe, Texas.
Once you turn, I want to fall back.
So we turn and I go ahead and start the early pace to kind of get people out of conversation mode. It's time to ride. We're on the open road. Especially on this road, I don't really like us riding two abreast. We need to be single file. The chatting time is over. It's time to ride.
That's why they had guys waking up at 2 a.m. to get on the trailer because they had too many red bus stops.
So I start edging the pace up. Thomas still running his mouth instead of focusing on ride. The chat time is over. It's time to ride. You know. So I'm doing about 22 miles an hour. I figured that ought to be hard enough for people to get in a single file, unless they want to waste energy. That seemed to have done the trick. Road goes up here. Just a slight grade. So when you're riding, especially in hot weather, you need to pay attention to how you feel. If you start feeling like you're overheating or you're trying, don't even wait till you get dizzy. Back off, drink water, pour water on you, try to cool your body down. That's kind of what I had to do. You've got to always pay attention to yourself. Not just in hot weather, just every time you're exercising, whether you're on the trainer indoors or out on the road, pay attention to how you feel. If you feel great, fine, push things. But if you don't feel so good, back it off. Sometimes you may have to stop. You know, but especially in the heat, you gotta monitor it. And then in areas where the air is dry, you gotta make sure you drink, because there's a tendency to not drink enough when it's dry heat. But you know, it's hot and you gotta drink. So if you live in Arizona and the other arid parts of the world, you need to make sure you consume enough fluids when you're out there, whether you're hiking, riding a bike or whatever. Keep hydrated and pay attention to how you feel. So I had no trouble pulling out of the line and just backing off, and I poured water all over myself. I took off my arm sleeves because it just felt better with them off, and poured water on my arms, and with the wind blowing, it cooled me down. So I just stayed in zone 2 all the way back to Taco. By the time I got there, the group was still there. I focused on filling up my bottles with iced water. I drank some more water, and after that, I was fine. But it came on suddenly because I was fine. We had just stopped at the boathouse, and after the boathouse, we started to hit a couple of rollers, and I just started feeling like I was in an oven. So I unzipped my jersey. That was not enough. So you gotta pay attention to how you feel. So I had to stop on the side of the road and pour water all over me, and then take off my arm screen and got back on the bike. It happened to me last year. I was riding with Mo and them, and on Fishcreek, I just got really hot. I had to let them go. And I went back and looked at my notes. It seemed to be the last 3 to 5 years I've been experiencing that. Because when I competed, I didn't have that problem. So, you know, things change. People change. So you gotta keep notes. So I went back, pulled up my log. Every time the first hot week we have, that happens to me. But it was fine, you know. I finished the ride strong. You will see that on film. I started strong and finished strong. And, you know, once I got used to being out in this, the sun was bearing out on us. It got near 38 Celsius, which is about 96, 97 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, that's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than it has been. So it was a very hot day. I think I pull off here. Pull for quite a while. I pull off, I'm gonna slide to the back. So I'm gonna be out of camera for the next probably 10 kilometers. About 6 miles. The whole time I'm looking down to see where the gaps are. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking at my bike. I'm looking down. I can see the line as the wheels are coming through, so I know when to slide over. So by looking down, you can see the wheel on your side. The rider's next to you. That's how you do it. You don't need to turn your head. So I slipped right behind Paul because on the back of the line, Mike Barreras is on his Velo P5 time trial frame, and he's sitting on the back for now. Going into the wind, it's nice and mild. I guess mild is the word because it feels nice. You know, at this point, it's 22. It feels like 22 Celsius, about 72, 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Abby's going to the middle because this road, that's why I told him car up and he moved back. The middle of the road is smooth because they didn't scrape the yellow line. But, you know, I just rode on the surface here because when you're following other people, it's hard to see the reflectors. If you try to ride on the right edge, you can hit those reflectors. It didn't feel too bad. I keep my tires around 95 PSI, so the suppleness of the ride is felt when you don't overinflate. So you really get to enjoy the little bumps and cracks and everything you go over. It doesn't feel that bad. The road goes up here. You can see the watts going up. With summer coming in now, my schedule is settling to where I'm able to ride most mornings, and so it should take my fitness to another level. I really like this road. As I've said before, it makes you want to work. Go about 6 or 7 miles before you come to an intersection. So Kenny's using the middle of the road because it's a little smoother there. I just stay here. This entire curve, it's not that bad. They graded it for traction as opposed to letting people slow down in the curves. You know, if it's slippery, you slow down. Coddle people too much over here. Passing the Grand Lake Estates on the left there, going straight into Honea. A lot of patina over here. Gotta read the road. I'm looking around wherever I'm following. I'm behind Paul. I see these coming up. I don't wait for signals. You can't depend on that. We're going too fast. So you want to kind of plan your line ahead of time. I'll be in the middle of the road over there. So that's not necessary. It's not that uncomfortable. Darren was pulling up. He's pulled off already. Trying to figure out who's taking over.
Little guys around the front.
Yeah, Mike Barreras. He said a bunch of little guys. I think Clement Champoussin, a.k.a. John Malberg. The other way around, John Malberg, a.k.a. Clement Champoussin from the AG2R Citroën La Mondiale team is pulling. In a little bit, we're going to hit like a little 5% bump, like a sprinter's bump. to the distance there where it curves left, kicks up. We've already lost Thomas. He started out with us, but when Paul turned the camera around just now, I don't even see him in the distance. He ends up catching back up once Paul has a flat on 105. This is the bump I was talking about. It's short. It's a nice effort. So on this ride, within 80 miles, we covered almost 3,000 feet of climbing, about 920 meters, something like that. So if you put the route together properly, you can get a lot of climbing in around here. There's a cat on the road. Somebody killed a cat with a car. Those vultures will take care of that. They don't mess around. They don't take long either. Knowing that I always have challenges in the heat, the first few rides of the season, I even wore white helmet, white jersey, white gloves, all of that. It still didn't matter. When it hit me, it was sudden, and then it also dissipated quickly. Because I knew what to do, you know. Just the last 3 to 5 years I've been having those challenges. But then it usually happens just one ride, and then after that I'm fine for the rest of the summer. So it is what it is. The day felt so good. I felt good the whole time, so I didn't understand. When it hit me, I was like, is this real? I just started feeling like I was in an oven. And then you gotta back off. My heart rate went up like 183 beats per minute. I never see heart rates that high. So that's just too high. For the effort we're doing, it was like 20 beats too high. Easy. So I knew something was up. So I consumed some water. I poured some down my neck, on top of my head, on my arms, on my back. And then within a few minutes, I was fine. But by then, the group was in the distance, so I just held a nice tempo. Kept them in sight for a while. So you've got to always listen to your body. Doesn't matter what those gadgets are saying. Even if the heart rate had been low, based on how I felt, yeah, I knew I slowed down because I knew I just felt like I was overheating. I'm past that. I think we're going to soon be coming to Leah Drive. This whole section is a grade. It's between 1% to 3%. And it just stays like that, so you've got to find a rhythm. This is Leah Drive. This is where it kicks up. Right about here. We originally had planned to turn right on 2854, which is coming up in about maybe 1.5 kilometers, and go towards Old 105, but there's road construction on that stretch. And we found out probably long ago I knew about it. He told me, he said, yeah, there's parts of the road where it's only one lane, so it's be too sketchy to take a group there, or even to ride solo there. It was always a narrow highway anyway, with a small shoulder. So we're going to still do this road. I like Honea, Egypt, and then we're going to zig and zag onto McCaleb. We're gonna go under the freeway or the overpass and turn left and get on McCaleb, which is the FM 2978 going north. That section is called McCaleb Road. That will take us to Highway 105. They have returned our shoulder, so we can get out there and ride it. We're coming up to the FM 2854 in Honea, Texas. So we're going to turn right. Usually we go left and go Raven Chapel. Or we're going to Conroe today. Conroe into Willis. There's a shoulder here. So in about probably 1.5 kilometers, we'll be at the overpass. It's not far. It's about a mile. Looking around Kenny back there to see, you know, if there's any debris coming off, that kind of stuff. The shoulder gets a little wider here. I try to stay as close as I can to the white line because that's where it's cleanest. There's the overpass in the distance. We're going to be turning left, so we're using the main lane to get in the left turn lane. They added this little turnaround here when they added the second overpass. Used to be shared in the past. You see me adjusting my cable, my rear derailleur cable. I'm loosening it a bit because my shifts going into larger ratios are not as crisp as I want it to be. It was fine on the stand, but sometimes you get on the road. The final decision is made on the road. So I've lost about 10 pounds in the last 3 months. I believe I'm estimating 2.5, 3 months. Let's see, March, April, May. So about 2 months because March, the middle of March, I stopped eating meat and just focused on eating plants, basically. No labels, what is vegetarian, vegan, I don't care about all that. But I just cut out the meat. Started eating more beans and soy and different things. And without even trying, because I'm still eating the volume, I dropped 10 pounds. So I'm 185 pounds right now. I believe that is about 84 kilos or something like that. So without losing any power or anything, you know, didn't really give up anything. Didn't think about it, just cut out the meat. And I just like my recovery is better. I don't feel sore after hard rides anymore. My recovery is so much more improved than in the past. So I like the way it makes me feel. I'm going to stick with it. Because nowadays there's so many choices and, you know, I fix my own stuff sometimes anyway. I just don't add the meat. I cook the same kind of stuff. More beans and soy and other things. Tofu. I'm trying to figure out 185 is about probably 84 kilograms. Yep, 83.9 kilograms. So I used to be about 195, so that was about 5 kilos, almost 5 kilos. So that's pretty significant when you think about it. I mean, I wasn't even trying to lose weight. I just wanted to try something different. Paul tried it, it worked for him. And with all the stuff I saw, the benefits that he got from it, I decided, okay, let me give it a shot. And we have a bunch of restaurants in the area that are reasonably priced that produce all kinds of foods that don't include meat and they're seasoned so well. It's like, it was a no-brainer. And then I started to make my own stuff without putting meat in it. The price of the grocery bill went down because meat costs more. And then I started getting some of the impossible, they call it impossible meat, or, you know, they're basically made out of plants, but they made to mirror like meatballs and different things, and so the girls like pasta, so we fixed that. It just worked out. So I like the way it makes me feel, as I said earlier. I can ride every day, I can ride hard frequently and not have to feel all swollen the next day. No more tight legs. This will take us to Highway 105, which parallels the road we're going to use, 2854 back there, but it's further north, of course. And this will take us into Conroe, Texas. We are probably already in Conroe. Conroe borders our area here. Conroe borders the Woodlands. It's part of Spring. I drift to the outside there to avoid braking. I'm going to get back in the line when we have to pedal again. I'm pedaling, but I'm not. I'm just soft pedaling sometimes, you know, because you're going downhill, and unless the pace is really high, you can kind of coast. where we're going, Shepherd Hill has a lot of rollers. It's up and down. It's very rural. You can ride for a lot of kilometers before you come to an intersection. I like going out there. I'll even go out there by myself. They're doing a lot of construction on some of the roads that we use and we're not aware of. Once we get outside of Little Egypt Road, they've got the road all torn up that takes you to 1097. A section of it anyway. Hopefully they'll hurry up and finish that. There's a lot of growth in the area. All these neighboring areas like Conroe, even Magnolia and Montgomery. A lot of construction going on, road construction to accommodate the increase in population. We're really just kind of riding. We're not really doing anything very aggressive at this point. This is 105, we turn. Abby likes to do these little sneaky accelerations. See how high your watts are? Well, the rest of the people in the back have to work hard to catch up because they were not aware. You know, he does that all the time. Then he pulls off. You know, so you go around the corner, accelerate like a mad dog, then pulls off. That's John Z. That's Kenny back there in the Simple Green Kid. I guess Kenny is sponsored by Simple Green. This road is very deceiving. It's busy. You come on it, now that they stopped the construction, you can see how much of our shoulder they took for that lane. And I believe, let's see how many lanes. Looks like they've got 3 lanes for some reason. Anyway, our shoulder has been sized down by about a foot. It's about 12 inches. That's what it looks like. It's still wide enough. They've put those traffic dividers in the middle and gotten rid and eliminated the center turn lane. The center turn lane, some places call it like a suicide lane. People get in there and you can turn at will to go into shopping center or wherever you're going. But the problem is with everybody turning like that, some people take chances. And so these dividers prevent, those yellow dividers you see, the little slabs of concrete, they prevent head-on collisions. They do save lives because some people make poor decisions. So this forces them to have very limited ability to turn. They have predetermined areas where you can turn instead of just being able to turn across oncoming traffic anywhere along the route. They do that whenever the growth reaches the point where they have a lot of head-on collisions for the kind of road, you know, that it is. We had that on another road called 2920. They added that. There were a lot of head-on collisions. And the state, the Department of Transportation for the state studies those statistics. It's like, hey, you know, this road should not be having this many head-ons. We need to make some changes. They work great in rural areas, but Once the area gets to be closer to like a metropolis, you gotta adjust, adapt, and overcome. So it's nice having this shoulder so we're not competing for road space with faster road users. A lot of debris on this shoulder. I stay primarily where you see Pedro is, close to the white line. It's cleanest there because as the cars go by, some cars will literally sometimes pull off into this lane because it's really for emergency stops. That's what the shoulder's for. It's not a bike lane. We use it as a courtesy. See where I am? I am reading the road aggressively and I'm making sure I stay where it's clean because I've got my nice new, I got my Rene Hurst tires in and I put it on the rear. Well, just one tire because the other one was okay. So I'm reading the road. I always read the road regardless of what I have on there, but even more so. You can see little specks as we go by. Those are pieces of tires from cars and all that. There's little rocks and stuff that you can't see because they're the same color as the concrete. So all that debris, that's from the construction barrel. They left the base plastic that keeps it stable. Those barrels that you see on the left side there. I guess they're not completely done. In a few kilometers, Paul's going to have a flat. It's going to hit something on the side of the road. And, I heard he was right alongside me. He drifts a little to the right and he hit something. So we have to stop and we fix that. See how everybody's on close to the white line? Because that's the cleanest spot. They need to get a sweeper out here. Get some of this debris off the lane. I didn't realize we were going this fast. So that was Laura was pulling. She's gonna slip to the back.
Good pull, Laura.
I'm sitting on John Mulbrecht's wheel. I'm in second position at this point. Road goes up here. I think it gets to around 3% or something. It's a long little climb. I think one of those displays come on my head unit or something. The way it actually shows the climb. It actually turned off before we're done with the climb. I'm doing 400 and some watts. So yeah, 3%. That's about right. Somewhere here Paul's gonna have a flat, or is it later? He's doing the same thing. What Paul said was people were going slower and slower and breaking up his rhythm. So he wanted to maintain his rhythm. That's why he came on the right. So Kenny goes up front. We're supposed to go to Longmire. We ended up turning on 336. I wanted to turn on Longmire because it has more climbs. Right here. That's where Paul hit the thing. He hit a rock. He was where John is, and he hit something. Whatever it was, we didn't see it because you look at the pavement right now, it all looks clean, but there was something there. So we're going to pull over here. I told him to pull over to the side, get off this feeder. So he gets off the bike and he's gonna walk it right there. So we'll get it sorted. So we're done and we're ready to go.
I know, it's like,
Yeah, we're ready.
let's go. Ready? All right.
So there are cars coming in this place and I don't see them. I end up apologizing to the guy because he was driving in and we're going across this thing. So Thomas gets a chance to catch up after we stop to fix the flat.
Thomas just got here. Yep.
He said, Thomas just got here. I said, come on, my brother, let's go because this is a climb. I want us to go ahead and get going. Because you don't want to be in the wrong gear on this thing. I think it's like 3%. So Abby goes by, I lift my pace to sit on his wheel. So this road will take us to Longmire Road. We ended up turning on 336. And we did something that, I handled the situation, but it's kind of like there was a driver sitting at the left turn lane, and we decided, we need to turn left. Well, there's several cars in the left turn lane already. Well, a bunch of us just went and got in front of the first car. Well, that's not cool. And so you would see me go to the driver's window. I get his attention, and I asked if it's okay. And then he said, yeah. Because that way you get goodwill. You don't just because there's a bunch of you guys, you don't just get in front of a car that's already in the line. You got to get yourself in the line. You got to get in the queue. You don't get to cut the line because there's a bunch of you on bicycles. And so, you don't want to leave a bad taste in the driver's mouth that these cyclists are just, breaking rules or acting unruly, kind of like motorcycle gangs had the reputation of misbehaving, that kind of stuff. And so you would see me talk to the driver just to make sure he's okay with it. We're already there, but it was like, I don't do that when I ride solo, ask if it's okay. And most of the time they will let you go in, but at least as a courtesy. There's a lot of debris, the lane's clear, so I'm sitting in the lane to avoid that stuff. I think it's somewhere here we're going to. I don't know if it's the next one. We're stopping. And Abby's gonna run this light. You will hear what I said. I quote Lisa Simpson from Bart Simpson.
Prayer is the last refuge of a Scotland.
That was Lisa Simpson.
Abby prays all the time. He prays all the time. He's tempting God.
So Lisa Simpson, when Bart Simpson had an exam coming up and he had been goofing off. So he prayed to God to give him a chance. He didn't want to repeat the third grade. Well, in the middle of summer, they got a snowstorm, a snow day, and then he wanted to go play. And Lisa said, remember, you prayed, your prayers were answered, go study. And that's why I always remember that episode. She said prayer, when he was praying, she said prayer. She came by his room, and Bart Simpson never prays. And she said, prayer, the last refuge of a scoundrel. We're supposed to go to the next one, but then we decide we're going to turn on 336.
We going further?
We're going down to Baytown.
Mike Barreras messing around. Nobody looks at the map when I put it out. We're supposed to go to the Longmire Road. So everybody's asking, so we just say, okay, let's take 336 because it gets you to Longmire. But then there's no traffic. These guys are waiting to go left. And these guys just going to get in front of the first car that's in the left turn lane. I didn't think that was too cool. So I'm going to go and smooth things out with the driver, just let him know, is it okay? And right here, I don't see Paul on my right. So he said, watch it. So yeah. I was like, you guys just cut in front of this guy. That's just rude.
Where they sell the fish down, Seabrook. You want to Seabrook?
Sorry, my brother. I wanted to.
Yeah, I got it Paul's way. I wanted to we just cut in front of the driver. Don't do that. If you're going to do that, you got to at least ask permission. Is it okay? That kind of stuff. So the light changes, we'll hustle across so we don't hold him up. Bad enough we jumped in front of the guy anyway. But that all worked out okay. So there was no ill will. We had a lot of goodwill there. We get on the shoulder here. This is 336. This was not the original plan. We're supposed to go one block further and take Longmire, which is the road we're going to hit up here anyway, because it has more climbs on the right. But we still got to enjoy a few more. I'm trying to get us close to 3,200 feet of climbing. But anyway, so we take this and we're going to go to Longmire. We're going to be turning left in about probably a mile. The road goes up here. You can see we're working. It's probably about 3%. I just leave it in a large gear My legs feel good. I want to feel the gear. I've got the CME 50 on my seat stay. It looks really good. Mike Barreras also has a copy on his
outside of Conroe. Left
seat
turn on
post.
Longmire. Left car back.
There's a left turn. This is Longmire. That road goes all the way to the highway we were on. Had we continued, we would have picked it up later and come back. So thank the driver. There's another driver who saw us.
That's the Texas road.
So Mike says, oh, that's got to be nice. I said, that's the Texas way.
Doesn't the Highland Hollow route come into this road? Like up there on the left?
You guys will all have a...
Oh, you would.
I do have an entertaining one.
All that beautiful speed.
Longmire actually hit it on Monday on that side.
All that energy.
That's where Mike went.
I just did.
If now
Like
it's
imagine if I reached over the middle of the car and pulled the brake.
So what Mike Barreras was asking about is that we come on this road sometimes and we go through Highland Hollow where there's a 15% climb. But I wanted to bring them on this stretch of Longmire where there's a lot of lumps. We missed a few because we turned on 336. But this will take us to our first stop. Get more climbing. You get to hold a high watt output for a good stretch. This builds your watts per kilo ability. Got over that nice little long climb. Now it's going to level off. It's going to kick up again. So John goes. I think Mike Barreras is going to surge a little bit for a little tester in. There he goes. He lifts the pace. 800 and some watts. Look at the wattage here. 900 and some watts. 1,003, 1,005. Yeah, he swings over to the white line. He scared the heck out of that driver. I had to tell him car back. I don't know what he was doing up there. But you can see the watts have dropped significantly. I just got, you know, boys playing around. So I leave it in a large gear. I maintain my rhythm. I think they're gonna go again. I just hold my rhythm. We're almost at the stop, so I don't want to waste energy again. After that light, there's a store on the left. That's where we're stopping. And this is why I brought him out here, because we came here on Memorial Day with the Victory Cycling Club. And I really like the profile of this road. So I think people enjoyed it. To go across the light, the store is on the left. So this is our first stop. Water, health breaks. And this is after taco. After I rode back solo when I overheated. Right now I'm feeling like myself again. I took off my arm screen, poured water on me when I was by myself. And that made a big difference in cooling my body down. So should be fine going forward. It's always the first ride I have the most challenging time when summer kicks in. But the key is that you hydrate properly. And I was never dehydrated. I always had enough hydration. And knowing that the heat was around, I had 2 bottles. They're insulated and they were loaded when I overheated. So I used one to pour on me and one to drink. So always have enough fluids. We're on the FM 2854 headed southbound towards Mill Route. I'm holding the camera here. I get on the road to let them know it's clear. I let Darren know that Darren moved over because we're going to be turning in about 50 meters. This is Mill Route, headed east, southeast. So mostly east now. In both directions, this road is challenging, and I like the ambiance of going under the canopy of the trees. It's very well sheltered. Mike Barrera is on his P5. In his Navy cycling outfit. U.S. Navy, it says Navy on it. See that? Navy, right on there. We're in the store and one guy overheard Mike Barrera saying squared away and came over and said, I knew you were military when I heard you say squared away. And we laughed about it. Military is a way of life. I'm on Laura's wheel here with the camera. I periodically turn the camera around on this section here. Look at the canopy of the trees that we're under. It's beautiful. We're riding into the trees. It's like we're in the forest. Yeah, we had a bug. I don't know what's her name. Jennifer said it was a horsefly. Just for 3 to 5 miles following us. Ended up sitting on my pants and trying to bite me. I grabbed him with my hand and crushed him. I just felt a little sting while I was riding. He had been following Jennifer and he followed Laura for a bit. And they were both in front of me. And he ends up coming behind me and sit on me. Like, please. This was in Willis, Texas. Jennifer believes it was a horsefly. That's all I knew. Pick up some kind of bug from a bite from one of those things.
That guy looks like a vegan guy.
Yeah, this is where Abby started talking about, oh, that guy looks like a vegan guy, whatever. I don't know what the history of that conversation was, but I got caught up on it when I got to the store because he was saying being a vegan, you have to be rich to be a vegan. And I don't like, when people say things that are not backed by facts. I said, that's not true. I said, meat is more expensive. That's all I said. So then he wants to label, oh yeah, you vegans, and this is a vegan hill, all that kind of nonsense. As far as I'm concerned, it's like, I just take a big yawn. It's a tired subject, move on. What do you care about what someone eats? You can eat dirt, I don't care. Eat whatever you want to eat. Nobody's trying to recruit you to do anything. If you're working for the meat lobby, that's your problem. It doesn't matter. A lot of people eat meat and do just fine. Do whatever you want to do. But he just kept harping over that, and he was telling Paul, this hill is a vegan hill. That guy was going just now. He said, I look like a vegan cyclist. Based on what? So he just won't let the subject die. I'm not sure what started it, but it's one of those things where it's boring. Like it's time to move on. Find something more interesting to talk about, or just be quiet and ride your bike. So the pace picks up here. I'm gonna ride up because at that corner, if you're not close, by the time they turn, you'll have to work really hard to get on the wheels. See Mike Barrera swing left. It's clear to roll through the corner. I remain seated and rev up whatever gear I'm in, probably to about 90 RPMs or so. All right, 100. I didn't realize I spun it that fast. About 500-600 watts. And then they turn off the power at the front. All I'm doing here, I'm looking for the smoothest path on this road. Let everybody know there's a car coming so nobody can get on that side of the road. Because sometimes we'll use the whole road to get a good line in a curve or something, or to see around another rider. The road goes up here, slight grade, but it goes all the way up to Raven Chapel Road. This is South Pine Boulevard that we're on. Or South Pine Road, I believe they call it. Still under the trees. Raven Chapel Road is clear. Return. So basically, every time the road went up, we worked. And if you ride with a group like this that's doing that, when you train by yourself, try to replicate the rhythm, meaning you come to a little hill, you don't necessarily have to go as hard as we're going here necessarily with the group. Just go hard every time the road goes up and get used to that rhythm where you're working. And then when you ride with a group, try to see if you can time how long they're going hard and how much of a rest pattern, work-rest pattern they have. And if you do a little more than that, you'll be able to acclimate. Around here we got to almost 30 miles an hour. That's a dead-end street that we just went by on the right, so we check the left. And there's nothing coming, we just go. And the wind is here because the temperatures have gone. You see it says 33 Celsius. On my head unit when I was overheating, it was 38 Celsius. That's almost 96, 97 degrees Fahrenheit on the road, the way it felt. And the original forecast had called for it to be 91 during the high of the day, not even during our ride. So the temperature really changed and went up quickly. But at this point, I'm back to my old self. I'm feeling fine, so body had gotten used to it. I just needed to cool down. Cool the radiator down, I guess. But we're going fast here. 350, 400 watts. 22, 23 miles an hour. Mike Barreras is pulling the group at this point. It's on that P5. About 24 miles an hour right here. headed towards the FM 2854 on Raven Chapel Road southbound at speed. So then Abby takes off. I'd let him know there's a car up because he's going across like the road is closed. I just maintain my speed. There's an intersection coming up, so that's what we refer to in our tight circle as a full move, because it's going nowhere. There's no point to that. There's an intersection about maybe 1,000 meters down the road, so what's the point of that? I don't waste my energy. That's a Pulsar move. You really want to go, let's get to the open road, then you go. You hold that for 5 miles.
Abby asked for mercy. Oh, Abby's full of it. Clear.
Abby always says have mercy. That's what I mean, full of it. As the British said, bullocks. Here we say BS. The camera moved a little bit on his hinge because of the bouncy road we're on, so I'm adjusting it. We're on Honea Egypt Road. We're going to go all the way down to Leah Drive and turn left. Mike Barreras will continue straight. The rest of the group will turn left and go to Fishcreek. It's a beautiful day. It just threw us from 80 degrees Fahrenheit to 90 something in one day. It's like, it takes a while to get used to that. But the good thing was we started the ride at 7 a.m. Central Time, 30 minutes earlier than normal. That would be our usual start time. And I don't know if they'll want to start earlier than that, but I think that's a good time to allow everybody to get there, because some of us ride to the ride. And right about 5:45, 5:50, the sun starts creeping out. So it gives you enough time. Plus, we have powerful lights that I put on my bike anyway, so it doesn't matter. So we're going to be turning left on Leah Drive. As I said earlier, Mike Barreras continues straight. He likes Honea Egypt Road. So there he goes, and we turn, and we're going to go off to Fishcreek. This is Leah Drive. It's an off-camber corner here. When it's wet, it's very tricky. Had a few riders go down in that corner. So it says 35C. It was very hot. That's hot. Because 33C is 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So 35 is almost 95. Yeah, Kenny lives out here. I think Paul asked whether he was not going home or not. He said he's going to go a little ways in town. Kenny's having fun. So he's going to go further with the group and then branch off and go home. Kenny said cars keep it tight, meaning don't swing out into the lane because really there's a car in the lane. I just stay on the shoulder. He wasn't right up on us, but still, as a courtesy, you're coming onto the traffic. You might want to either wait or use the edge of the road. This is a slight grade as we turn. Approaching Ridge Lake Shores Boulevard. Usually watch to see that light in the distance. I think it's green as we approach. John Z pulls off. Clement Champoussin takes over.
Nice work, John.
So nice work, John. You've been there for a while. making the most out of this road, about 26, 27 miles an hour. There is an well, it's not really an overpass, it's like a hill. I believe it's about maybe 4%. It's a short bump, but once you finish, then it stays around 2% for about 3 kilometers into town. So you gotta always save a little something when you come in this way. John's done pulling, he pulls off, Laura takes over. Laura's gonna take us to the little bump I talked about and all the way over it. I don't want John in front of me, he's too little. I want to stay behind Paul. So I move on, I don't let him in. You can hear it's a little quieter. Line is tight. It's the way it should be because there's going to be a big effort in about 2 kilometers. There's a light coming up, so I backed off a little bit to kind of keep my eye on it. I believe it's green, and as we go through, it's gonna go yellow, but we're already there. So we just go on through. At 25 miles an hour, we're moving 26. The shoulder is going to get wider right here. So we utilize the shoulder, but we still stay close to the white line. That's where it's clean. I just put that thing in one gear. I'm probably in a 5317. And I just leave it in there. And Laura's been pulling all this time, so that's a very strong pull. Watts going up. Yep, right at 4%. It might be a little more than that, but probably averages 4% right there. That's going to level off to about 2% for the next 2 kilometers or so. So Laura pulls off. Now instead of Abby going through, he wants to chat. I don't even shift here. I'm sitting in that same gear, 5317. I just ride it. So you can see we didn't mess around on this ride. We did about 80 miles with the group. I did a little over 100 miles, but we got the K's in. And we're almost back in town. We're about probably a mile from the light at Honea, Egypt, where we started. So I don't know what you did this weekend, but this is part of what we did on Saturday. Remember, get your K's in and keep all the doctors fired. This is how you ride fast in a group. Do the work. It'll all come together.